Hi, I know this isn't the next video I'd promised, but today we're going to take this very short, I promise, very short little detour because this thing has been on my mind and I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit. So this is what this video is, and I do apologize if you were looking forward to the next video topic I'd posted in my community stories, but I promise it will come soon, eventually. So the other day I saw this tweet where a person took a picture of a line of long flowy dresses being sold in a Target, which is, I guess, an American brand, and the caption was, "Am I the only one weirded out by this trend in clothing?" What I presume this person was referring to as a trend is the long, flowy, cottagecore, grandma-core-esque type of clothing that you often associate with very whimsical mood boards, or like vacationing, or just modest style and mood boards. Innocent enough, but that picture seemed to spark concerns about women's bodies and autonomy and independence, which sounds like a very difficult reach when it's just a picture of a dress, and like the dress design or not, there seems to be a lot of agendas and politics being assigned to this image, which I didn't really think was warranted. But I guess when things fall into a certain rabbit hole, people can just take it and infer what they want to infer, what they're feeling like, what flavors they're feeling like, and I guess it gives me content to talk about. And I want to investigate why that is. I want to talk about, just work through with you, I guess, why I think it is that people had such strong feelings. But before we go into it, I just want to give a very quick shout out to today's sponsor. Ana Luisa specialize in sustainable jewelry, and their products are made from recycled gold and lab-grown diamonds. They also offset any carbon emissions associated with their business by collaborating with a forest preservation project in San Francisco. Their jewelry is really a go-to if you're into very subtle, dainty styles, but they're also kind of like timeless but also modern, so they go with pretty much anything. I am currently wearing their Kadi set, which is like two separate necklaces that you can layer together, and I think they look really cute. I was also wearing a few of their pieces in my last video, and I've been wearing their stuff for about a month now, and I could not recommend it more when it comes to just durability and the feel of it, and just styling it has been really easy. They also carry like collections of earrings, which unfortunately I am a coward, and at 22 I do not have my ears pierced. But if you do and you would like a new set, I think the pair of earrings that they collaborated with Tiffany Fergon, for example, is really adorable, and it's such a nice color. And again, I'm so angry that I still haven't had my ears pierced. They have like a set of like rings, bracelets, and they don't have too many items on their website, to the point where it can become overwhelming, because there really is a focus on quality over quantity. If you're in need of some cute and stylish pieces, you can go to analuisa.com and use my code ashtanya10 to get 10% off your first order. And I just realized that's the first time I've actually said the channel name on the channel, which is mad. And it's also mad that I get to have the opportunity to do collaborations like this, and that is all because of you guys and continuing to watch my channel, so I really appreciate that. And I would really appreciate that if you also went and checked out Ana Luisa's website. Thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. On to the business of today. The most objective definition of modest fashion I could find was fashion that conceals rather than accentuates body shape. Depending on the corners of the internet that you surf, you've seen this type of fashion as part of probably an aesthetic community like cottagecore or high fashion, or sometimes Muslim fashion TikTok. The founder of AB, which is a modest fashion brand, notes that before, what was available to those who wanted to dress more modestly used to be kind of drab, kind of boring colors, very frumpy, very ugly, and there seems to be more of a concerted effort by high fashion brands to incorporate modest fashion into the trendosphere to make it seem like it's more trendy and appealing. As usual, it's just brands seeing another area that can be exploited for cash, trying to cater to it. And if people are happy buying the stuff, then on those bare bones of it, it seems harmless enough. The original poster of this tweet seems to think that this happening will lead to everyone being somehow forced to wear these dresses, which doesn't make any sense. Does the increased visibility of this style of dress mean that everyone's going to be forced into it? Any reasonable person could say no. And in the past 2 years at least, we've seen online fashion communities become more and more about self-expression, identity, community. And even when there are always going to be, and there are currently, baseline trends that you can either choose to follow or not, aesthetics that you can choose to follow or not, at the end of the day, everyone is free to wear what they would like to wear, or at least you would hope that everyone is free to wear whatever they would like to wear. And while critique is welcome, it's one thing to critique, it's another thing to critique the person in the clothing, and it's an entirely different thing to attach conspiracies to it, like saying that Target wants to make women wholesome again and attaching Handmaid's Tale and House on the Prairie memes onto the clothing. And this is feeling very eerily similar to the critiques I've seen about cottagecore of, oh, you guys want to dress like it's slavery again. Excuse me. There's also been a greater narrative about empowerment that usually tends to look a certain way. So like, I guess in that sense, a woman being covered up is immediately interpreted as they lack liberation or something. And it's not uncommon in media to have women wearing less clothing attached to empowerment, attached to prosperity. I mean, even if you subscribe to the hemline, what is it, the hemline trend or something, which basically implies that the higher the hemlines or the shorter the skirts of women are, the better the economy is performing. That was a very interesting find. An important bit that I think is severely overlooked is just how there's a lot more dedication to styling, to color theory, to shapes and tailoring, which isn't as valued or paid attention to in most aesthetics. In some aesthetics, am I using blanket statements here? Yes, but I think any reasonable person can understand what I mean. The reality is, whether we like to admit it or not, a lot of current trends do focus in part on the body, accentuating it, or sometimes the body just is the accessory. I think I've touched on this before in a previous video, where it's like sometimes you have to question whether this is an actual like outfit that is cohesive, aesthetically pleasing, or it's that the person in it has a body that conforms to body standards. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I personally think that it takes an entirely different level of skill to create a visually appealing style in modest fashion. I also think the all body hugging polyester cutout trends of fast fashion have really robbed us of the memory of what good tailoring and good clothing production and good styling is supposed to look like, because again, there's a bigger focus on the body, which again is totally fine, but is, I think, a very special element of the modest fashion. And again, I'm really talking on the bare bones of everything here. I don't want this to seem like I'm applying any morals on how people dress, because the reality is, unfortunately, including in this thread, it was either people thinking that a person who would prefer to wear the Target dress would judge a person who would prefer to wear a cutout Fashion Nova dress, and some of the people who would, slut shaming the people who would dress more immodest, or what even is modest, and all these morality discussions, which I really don't think are necessary to attach to clothing, because what we wear has nothing to do with the content of our character. And it's also interesting to me how everyone's about supporting everyone, but as soon as a topic like this comes up, some people are quick to start to pick each other's character apart, and I'm just like, what? Can't we just look at the clothes? That tweet could have easily just been the original poster being like, I don't like the dress. But to attach it to a whole conspiracy against you know, women seems like a bit insensitive, especially considering the type of headlines, the type of institutional type of discrimination on people who are generally more modest, especially for religious reasons. And I'm not saying all the triggering words, so Mr. Algorithm doesn't punish me. But yeah, it's no secret that historically there is some type of like chastising of a certain type of modesty, and I could see some of the comments really swinging into that direction, and it was kind of like very, very concerning. And it's almost like women can't win either way, because you're either dressing too inappropriately, think about the kids, put everything away, why you dress like that, oh, you were asking for it, and all this other stuff that's applied to women who are dressing a certain way, or scantily, or barely, or whatever you want to call it. And then also vitriol for people who are doing the opposite. So it's like, what do you want? We certainly already dress in a sort of homogenous way, and anyone who veers differently in any sort of type of way is going to face some ridicule. And I think that's just what's going on here. And it's like, maybe the status quo is showing more skin, and so now people are going to be making more and more of these comments. I don't know. It is important for people to unpack why they associate, because I feel like it is there and I'm just not articulating it properly. But why do people associate shorter clothing with modernity and prosperity, and the longer and more covered up clothing with the opposite? Is it the big C again? Is it one of their cousins? I don't know. But I feel better now, because I've had this lovely, lovely rant with all of you, and if you've stuck around to this point, maybe some of it made sense. But yeah, thank you so much for watching to this point. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, feel free to support this channel by donating to my Ko-fi if you'd like. And thank you once again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. I will see you guys next time with a more cohesive video, hopefully a more longer video, because I'm really trying to do my thorough research on that one, and maybe no, that's too ambitious. I almost went like maybe make it a two-parter, but even the 10-minute videos are kind of a struggle for me. I see so many of you being like, oh my god, your content is so concise, it's so together, it's such a neat little package, and I'm just there like, that's all I got, bro. That's all I have. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.